Hello, welcome back to the Q. It is Operation 8th Air Force, and we're back in another YouTube war. Um, it's been silent for a while, but we've still been playing. We've been playtesting some rules for the powers that be, and we're going to play this game here with a couple of house rule adjustments. Um, they were gone over in the intro from Global War Enthusiasts, which is at the lead video of my playlist, where you can see Germany, Russia, and Japan's turn. We are going to adjust the anti-aircraft here for this game. For the heavy bomber tech, when it's completed, um, it was at a 1, is that, but we're going to raise it to a 2. So when the strategic heavy bombers tech is reached, and then you're strategically bombing facilities, the anti-aircraft was 1. We're going to just say it lowers it by 1 instead it drops it to 1. So it'll be at 2 going forward. Um, Now until that tech's achieved, it's still at 3. The buildable anti-aircraft guns, which are your lower caliber, shorter range guns, obviously, um, we're going to lower that to a 2 from a 3 to try and balance out a little bit of the anti-aircraft fire in this game, because it seems like you get a handful of anti-aircraft guns and everyone feels like it's impregnable, and you can't attack them, without losing all your punch units, the aircraft. The third one is we feel like Russia needs a little bit of assistance. So on their first dice roll for income, which comes on turn 2, they're guaranteed a minimum of 5. So they'll roll the dice. If they get a 6, they get 6. Otherwise they're going to get a 5, because we had a couple games ago where the first 2 die rolls for Russia, I think one was a 1 and one was a 2, and that really just crushed Russia's chances for a successful game. So those are the changes we're going to make. So let's get that off of the board here before we can roll some dice. We're going to be playing Britain and France, of course, over here till they succumb. We had $11 to spend. We're going to spend 10 of it on 2 anti-aircraft guns and a militia upgrade. 5 for the FEC, militia, and an infantry. 3 for Anzacs. They're going to upgrade a militia and save 1. And those are 2 ships off the build queue we get to place. So let's roll our tech, which is radar and long-range aircraft. 7 and an 8, and we got a 9 and a 1. So we're 50% there. Radar. All right, I'd rather had that 9 on the long range. So tech not very good so far. Germany with 1, Russia with none. Japan's turn is still technically uploading, so I don't know if they succeeded with their 1 or not. But the most they could get is 1. So let's move on to combat. There is none. So let's just move some stuff, shall we? Where to start? Let's just start over here on the far side of the world. We're going to rail a militia out of Sydney to South Australia. This motorized is going to haul that artillery 1-2 over to South Australia from Sydney. And then our 3 ships here, the transport, destroyer, light cruiser will come over 1 to P-70 from P-72. Excuse me. Our coastal sub here, we don't know what the Japanese are doing, but we're going to go up and see just in case. So out of P-41, he's going to go north to P-32. The light carrier and fighter out of P-41 will come down 1, 2, 3 to P-61, along with the destroyer in P-50, 1, 2. The battleship coming out of I-11, 1, 2, 3. And the heavy cruiser, 1, 2, 3, into P-64. We've got a destroyer in I-11. He'll come out 1, 2, 3, 4 over to, what is that, I-4. Got some glare. 2 transports using strategic naval movement. One in I-11 will come down 5 to I-1, and one in I-6 will come down 4 to I-1, and they will both go in port there in South Africa. All right. We can't rail because we used our rail on this side of the world. So the infantry from Delhi marches over to Benares, and that's pretty much it. On this side of the map, the infantry in Transjordan steps into Lower Egypt, and that's pretty much it for Africa. Let's move our ships from M8 over to, let's set them all there in A44. So the battleship, heavy cruiser, destroyer, light carrier, that should be a tactical, so I'm gonna have to get that. They both go 1, 2, 3 into I-44. I'm gonna put that fighter out there because it should be a tactical bomber. That was a setup error. We've got 3 ships here in M2. The light cruiser and the destroyer will come out to A44. The sub will come out 1, 2, 3 and see what the Germans are doing in A28. Last but not least, we've got this transport here in St. Pierre is going to go in port in Nova Scotia. I guess it doesn't matter where it goes now. This torpedo boat destroyer in A18 comes over 3 to A21. Destroyer from A17 comes down to A21. We've got a destroyer in A6, which will come down 1 to A23. We've got a battleship from A6. Actually, all those ships, well, 3 of those ships. The battleship and the 2 heavy cruisers will go 1, 2, 3 into A21. And getting a lot of arm in the camera there, sorry. And then the light cruiser will come down 1 to A23. Join that fleet. Not that any of that matters. The air transport in London grabs the infantry. There's an air base. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it didn't need the air base into Gibraltar. And pretty much we're going to send this fighter over from London to southern England, and the 2 militia from southern England go over to London. So we'll leave those 3 planes there in southern England. I think this transport here will come over 1 and go in port in this southern England in A22. We can rail this mountain infantry down to southern England. All right, that is pretty much it for the British. Am I forgetting anything? No. That's pretty much their turn. So let's place their goods. The 2 anti-aircraft guns, 1 in Ottawa and 1 in South Africa. Or not, Cape Town, I guess. Used to be South Africa. So Ottawa gets that. That is the upgrade for the militia upgrade in Ottawa. So we'll set that militia over there to the side. We've got the 2 ships, the destroyer and the sub. The sub will go here. Well, actually, they're both going to go in A21. So we'll put those there and there. All right, so they save 1. They actually collect 12 now. So with saving, they'll be at 13. They spent all their 5. They will be at 5 for the FBC. Sydney collects 3. They saved 1, so they'll have 4 for next turn. So I'll take that with me. And we'll go down real simple. Infantry in Calcutta, militia in Calcutta. And then we're upgrading this militia here in South Australia to an infantry. that is pretty much it. Now let's go over here to the French turn. All right, so the French get a tech roll, which I didn't think anything about. They have $6. They're going to upgrade a militia. They're going to buy 2 militia, and they've got that sub that they're placing off the build queue. What would be a good tech for? Let's do something high, because I'm tired of France always succeeding. Long-range aircraft. Good, they failed. All right. So I'm just gonna. No, we got some movement. So let's do our movement first. We've got this transport and grabbing the infantry here out of Cochin, China. Strategically, naval moves 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I guess we didn't need strategic naval movement. That's as far as we can go. All right. So they drop them off in French Somaliland. There really is no other movements we're going to make. I think we're going to bring out our subs out of M1. 1, 2, 3 over to M8. We'll put this sub there as well. So that'll be 3 subs in M8. Our torpedo boat destroyer, light cruiser will go down here into M2. We've got a destroyer from A29, 1, 2, 3, 4 into M2. We got 2 battleships and a destroyer. The destroyer comes down 1, 2, 3 into A44. The battleships, what do I do? One of them's going north, so that'll go 1, 2, 3 and join A23, that group there. Matter of fact, I think both of them are. We're just going to post up right there. All right. All other movements, really, I think we're just going to stay put. There's no sense moving infantry and stuff around yet. So that's pretty much it for France. We grab their goods. And the sub will be placed here in M1. And we've got 2 militia. We'll put 1 in Alsace and 1 in Paris. Turn them so I can see their militia. And then we're upgrading this militia here in Syria. No big surprise there. And they spent all their 6. They are at 7 now, so they'll have 7 for next turn. So that's the cash. That's pretty much the turn. I'm going to do a recap now, so you don't need to hang around if you don't need to. Like I said, I got the playlist going. You can see the beginning turns for Germany, Russia, and Japan, whenever Japan's uploaded, that is. And let's do a recap. So up in Ottawa, infantry, anti-aircraft gun, transport and port, Nova Scotia. We've got in A21, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, 3 subs. Nope, 3 destroyers, 1 sub. Of course, there we go. 1 battleship. A28 has a sub. There's an A22 in port as a transport. There is a militia in northern England, 2 in London, and yeah, that's a good question, and I didn't. Never mind. In southern England is a fighter, medium bomber, seaplane. A23 is 2 French battleships, battle cruise or British from here on out, light cruiser, heavy cruiser, battle cruiser, coastal defense ship, and a, what is that, destroyer. All right, down to A44 is 2 destroyers, battleship, heavy cruiser. There is a light carrier that has a tactical on it, so I'll have to rectify that. Light cruiser, French destroyer. The remaining French ships are in M2, sub in M1, 3 subs in M8. I added an infantry to Lower Egypt. I've got an anti-aircraft gun in Cape Town, 2 transports in South Africa, destroyer in I4, 2 infantry militia in Calcutta, 1 infantry in Benares. In P-61 is a destroyer, light carrier, fighter, battleship, heavy cruiser. P-70 is a transport, destroyer, light cruiser. South Australia is infantry, motorized artillery, and that is the changes. So thanks for watching, and next up will be Italy, I believe. Yeah, Italy.